Working in healthcare is not all fun and games, but one doctor is looking to change that. Dr. Lakshman Swamy dreamt up a board game to fight his own burnout during the pandemic. Now, he hopes to inspire others to dream big. Dr. Lakshman Swamy is a critical care physician and the creator of the Critical Care board game. Dr. Swamy, most of us avoid hospitals, avoid work in our downtime. You did the opposite. What is the Critical Care board game?
So, thanks for having me. Critical Care, the game, is a board game for 1 to 4 players. Actually, it is cooperative, so the team spirit is big in this one. And it's a game which requires no medical knowledge to play. Anyone 14 and up really can kind of sit down and play it. And it kind of gives you an immersive experience into the intensive care unit. So kind of living a day in our shoes. The intensive care unit of 2018. This is all pre-COVID, very intentionally.
And you said it's cooperative. It's not just a doctor barking orders at the orderly.
Far from it. We really tried to bring all of the staff that it's such a team effort in the ICU, and we wanted to represent everyone really well.
So many doctors, nurses, hospital staff, they've been on this show, they've been everywhere saying, I feel like I got run over by a bulldozer over the past 2 years. I think you called it pretty traumatic. I think those are your words. And this kind of helped? How so?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I would have never known, that I was going to do something like this before this past year. But a big part of what it was for me was I really was so hurt by what happened to the place I work, the intensive care unit with COVID. It was such a place of of a lot of life. And yeah, there was sadness there and people die in the ICU. But a lot of the times we try to give people, dignity. And a lot of that kind of went away with COVID. Families were gone and it was an empty, lonely place. So I would come home from ICU shifts and all the usual stuff I did to get my mind off it really didn't work. And I spent just so many hundreds of hours kind of recreating what the ICU used to be like before COVID.
And the point of this, there's an intention. You say you want to inspire future doctors and nurses. I think, I was inspired to be pre-med by Anthony Edwards on ER. Well, maybe, if I'm being honest, George Clooney, to try to be a doctor. I didn't make it. You're inspiring other people. What's the mission there?
Yeah, it's kind of the same idea. This is a time when our morale is just shattered. So first of all, I want to give that back a little bit, remind people why we love this work. And the game is for the public. And even though it's meant for people who don't know any medicine at all, we kept all the real language of medicine. So the top of the card has a name that's in medical language. And then the bottom of the card has a description of what it really is in plain English. So anyone can pick it up, learn a little bit about what different people in the ICU do, what different procedures are. And I mean, I just can't imagine a kid playing this game and saying, I want to be a respiratory therapist. And that's really my.
Money raised goes to therapy aid. It's not going to all wind up in your bank account. It's therapy for healthcare workers, and boy, do they need it after this last 2 years. If people want to buy a copy, how can they do it?
So you can, right now, this is something that we dreamed up. It doesn't exist yet in a box yet, but the whole game is done. It's made. What that means is that we are crowdfunding it on Kickstarter. So you can go to our Kickstarter link, and we've already, in less than 8 hours, we surpassed our funding goal. I'm so excited, so proud of our team. So you can go and pledge on there and get a copy of it. And shipping delays aside, you will be getting that game at your doorstep.
Surpassing your goal in 8 hours, if that doesn't tell you people love and appreciate what you're doing, nothing will. And inspiring future healthcare workers, will be relying on them in 20 years. Dr. Lakshman Swamy, your whole team, congrats. Thanks.
Thank you.